Jane Seymour, 68, tells how she nearly lost everything in Hollywood bushfire. Jane Seymour's self-portrait is instantly recognizable, but there's no familiar Hollywood smile. Her eyes are painted reddened and glisten with tears. This last tiny detail reveals a stressful secret she hid from colleagues on the BBC's Celebrity Painting Challenge, which starts this week. During the show, she was told her house would burn to the ground. This was in November, when wildfires in Malibu, California, which destroyed almost 100,000 acres of land, were inching closer to her seafront home. Jane, 68, says, "As I started my self-portrait, I had tears in my eyes because I'd just heard my house was going to burn down. I was trying my best to pretend everything was okay, but now I can share that with anyone watching the show who thinks, why didn't she paint herself looking happy and chirpy? That's because tears were halfway up my eyeballs. I thought, I'm going to lose my house and everything I own. I couldn't let that show while we were filming. So, as I painted, I kept looking in the mirror and thinking, I'm going to paint what I see and who I am now." Feeling helpless 6,000 miles away as the fire raged, Jane fielded frantic calls from her sisters who were staying in her home while on holiday from England. She says, "My sisters sent me videos of unbelievable fires before they were evacuated. We didn't know what would happen. There was nothing I could do." Miraculously, the fire stopped at Jane's front door. She says, "The most amazing thing happened. My gardener and next-door neighbor illegally stayed and hid in the house. I have fire hydrants on the property and they protected 3 houses, mine and the 2 properties either side. My home escaped the devastation. But a lot of my friends didn't, and so I really feel a lot of guilt about that." It's easy to assume Jane has always been blessed with such good luck. She looks a generation younger than 68, and has won top acting roles for 5 decades. Jane also has a keen eye for savvy business deals, like owning the rights to her well-loved 90s series Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman, and profit shares from the 2005 film Walk the Line, about her late friends Johnny Cash and June Carter. But despite shooting to fame as a Bond girl solitaire in Live and Let Die in 1973, Jane describes her life as never smooth sailing. She has been divorced 4 times, the first, after a 2-year marriage to Lord Richard Attenborough's theatre director's son Michael, followed by a 1-year union with artist Geoffrey Planer. Her 11-year marriage to businessman David Flynn ended in 1992, and she divorced director James Keach in 2015 after 22 years together. It was art, she reveals, which provided solace during life's lows, including facing bankruptcy. Mum of 4 Jane says, "I got my art A-level, but did nothing with it. Cut to when I am 40 and I lost everything in a difficult divorce. I'm financially and emotionally in a very, very tough state. So I was at a fundraiser signing books and saw a silent auction for an artist offering to do portraits of your kids. I put down my last pennies and the artist came to my house to do the drawing of my kids, saw my finger paintings and decided to teach me how to paint watercolor for free. At that point, I lost my home and everything, but I had watercolor and it became my therapy. It took me out of my feelings of fear and pain." Being faced with actor Keith Allen posing naked as a life model on the first day of Celebrity Painting Challenge might have been traumatic for some. But not Jane. She says, "I thought it was kind of wonderful, actually. He was very brave. When anyone is comfortable in their own skin, it's fabulous, and he clearly is." Born Joyce Penelope Wilhelmina Frankenberg in London in 1951, Jane first moved to the US in 1976 and calls herself an Ameribrit, splitting her time between the 2 countries, but she has kept her British accent and sense of humor. She has also resisted the Hollywood trend of opting for drastic plastic surgery. Jane says, "I have never wanted to buy a new face. I tried Botox and decided it wasn't for me because, as an actress, I need my face to move freely. I don't have a symmetrical face. I lost a job because I have 2 different colored eyes. I have a crooked smile, which some people have tried to sort out. One cheekbone is higher than the other. But when you paint people, you learn that character comes from nature's way of making things not perfect. So for me, I just felt I didn't want to mess with it. But that means I look in the mirror and go, ugh. I see a lot of laugh lines there. But you know, I have my life on my face and I play my age." And Jane is refreshingly honest about the surgery she has had. In 2005 film, Wedding Crashers, when we saw Owen Wilson's hands on my boobs, I was honest enough to say, yes, I had mine done some time ago. And I've also been very honest in saying I had bags under my eyes, and a lot of photographers said there was something I could do about that. So about 28 or 30 years ago an attempt was made there. But that's it. And I've also been very honest in saying I had bags under my eyes, and a lot of photographers said there was something I could do about that. So about 28 or 30 years ago an attempt was made there. But that's it. Recently, she had to make herself look older when filming comedy series The Kominsky Method, with Michael Douglas, 74, she says, I've known Michael for years. The character I'm playing wears a gray wig and the real issue was making sure I looked old enough, which, sadly, I do when I put on a gray wig. On the first day I was in a scene with Michael, he comes into the rehearsal room, shakes hands with me and says, hello, my name's Michael. And I say, Michael, it's Jane. He said, oh my God. That's when I knew I had the character down. Despite her legendary status in Hollywood and A-list pals, Jane says her life is decidedly unstarry. She says, I only get all dressed up when it's part of my job. Mostly, you'll find me in leggings and digging the garden. My life's normal but very happy. Jane's family are a large part of that happiness, she says of her partner, British film director David Green, 70. We have known each other for almost 40 years, but it feels like now's the right time to be together. Mostly, you'll find me in leggings and digging the garden. My life's normal but very happy. Jane's family are a large part of that happiness, she says of her partner, British film director David Green, 70. We have known each other for almost 40 years, but it feels like now's the right time to be together. I have 6 grandchildren and I adore them. I used to curse when people said being a grandparent is the best thing in the world, but now I can absolutely say, yes it is. The 15th of February 1951, is an English actress, best known for her performances in the James Bond film Live and Let Die 1973, Somewhere in Time 1980, East of Eden 1981, the Scarlet Pimpernel 1982 film, Onassis, The Richest Man in the World 1988, War and Remembrance 1988, the French epic La Révolution Française 1989 as the ill-fated Queen Marie Antoinette, Wedding Crashers 2005, and the American television series Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman 1993–1998. She has earned an Emmy Award, 2 Golden Globe Awards and a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. In 2000, she was appointed an Officer of the Order of the British Empire. Joyce Penelope Wilhelmina Frankenberg was born on 15 February 1951 in Hayes, England, to Mika van Tricht, a nurse, and Benjamin John Frankenberg FRCOG 1914–1990, a distinguished gynecologist and obstetrician. Her father was Jewish. He was born in England, to a family from Notorzepowo, a village in Poland. Her mother was a Dutch Protestant with family from Deventer who was a prisoner of war during World War II, and had lived in the Dutch East Indies, now Indonesia. Jane's paternal grandfather had come to live in the East End of London after escaping the Tsarist pogroms when he was 14. He is listed in the 1911 census as living in Bethnal Green working as a hairdresser, and eventually going on to have his own company. Jane's father Benjamin qualified at the UCL Medical School in 1938, and joined the medical branch of the RAFVR after the outbreak of war, serving in England, Belgium, Italy and South Africa, and ending his service as a squadron leader with a mention in dispatches. In 1969, Seymour appeared uncredited in her first film, Richard Attenborough's Oh, What a Lovely War. In 1970, Seymour appeared in her first major film role in the war drama The Only Way. She played Lillian Stein, a Jewish woman seeking shelter from Nazi persecution. In 1973, she gained her first major television role as Emma Callan in the successful 1970s series The Oneida Line. During this time, she appeared as female lead prima in the 2-part television miniseries Frankenstein, The True Story. She also appeared as Winston Churchill's lover Pamela Plowden in Young Winston, produced by her father-in-law Richard Attenborough. In 1973, Seymour achieved international fame in her role as Bond girl Solitaire in the James Bond film Live and Let Die. IGN ranked her as 10th in a top 10 Bond babes list. In 1975, Seymour was cast as Princess Farah in Sinbad and the Eye of the Tiger, the third part of Ray Harryhausen's Sinbad trilogy. The film was not released until its stop-motion animation sequences had been completed in 1977. In 1978, she appeared as Serena in the Battlestar Galactica film, and in the first 5 episodes of the television series. Seymour returned to the big screen in the comedy Oh Heavenly Dog opposite Chevy Chase. Do you know how Jane Seymour nearly lost everything in Hollywood bushfire? Watch this video and also know what helped her get over the stress of the Hollywood house fires. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more related videos.